Welcome to Cinemondo.
Hey, you know those Mythri movie makers? Yeah, hi. Mythri movie makers. I just love the name of that production company.
I
They
know,
have
it's just great.
it, it's great, and this movie is filled with mirth or myth.
It is. It's tons of fun
Yeah,
and comedy.
it's called JAAT. It's
That's
starring
right.
Sunny Deol and it's directed by Gopichand Malineni, and it is a film that it's filled with ridiculous action, like over the top action, and it starts out with this incredible action scene with these thugs that are coming in.
It was just
So
a great opening scene. It's
right,
fantastic.
they do they're told these workers, they're told to dig in this the military to dig this hole, and they find this treasure of gold bars. The military here, how do we get out of here with these gold bars? All of a sudden they fly out of the
I love the flying, literally defying gravity, like woo,
they
flying
come
out
out,
of the hole.
and those four guys just
Oh,
kill
yeah, look,
all.
two of them.
Yeah, they kill all the soldiers and they escape with the gold, and that happens like in 2009. Then
Oh,
we fast forward to present day, to this village, and there's a guy that's plowing, and this is in the trailer for from the film, and plowing, all of a sudden there's a hand pops up, and all these dead bodies with the severed heads are cut off.
Oh my God,
And
so much dismemberment. Okay.
yeah,
Also, let's do a few little credits here. So we got the movie's called JAAT, G-A-A-T,
right.
starring Sunny Deol, who's fucking great. Like this was like definitely like a star vehicle for him. This whole thing
Yes.
is about him, right?
It's all about him.
His whole setup, his entry scenes, everything.
The director is Gopichand Malineni, and he also wrote he was a story by, and I think co-scripted it. So it's really his idea of this village that's overrun by these thugs and this criminal element. And Sunny Deol plays this guy that just happens to walk through the town because there's something with problem with the train, so he has to get off. And he goes, "I'm hungry. Where can I go?" And he finds this woman making this beautiful Indian food in this hut. And so she feeds him, and as he takes a bite, and he goes, "Oh, this is exactly what I need. I'm so hungry."
So
And then the thugs walk in and knock his tray to the floor. All his food goes flying to the floor.
Thugs, do you not know who this is?
He gets up and he walks up and he goes, "Apologize."
Apologize. That's the whole phrase of the entire movie. It's like, apologize. People are so rude. I can't say he's wrong.
And it's just, I just go, okay, why don't they and then he proceeds to throw guys around, like lifts them, he's got these arms.
Yeah.
Call them like 2 kilo arms. They just picks up guys, and just throws them 100 feet. And there's all kinds of crazy over the top action stuff. And, but nobody will apologize because, masculine, I'm not going to apologize to this guy.
I'm not going to apologize to you.
I don't care if there's 30 people died in front of me. I'm going to just still not apologize.
Going to defy you.
So his whole thing is he goes, "Who's your boss?" And then "Who's your boss?" And "Who's your boss?" And the movie is him sort of searching for this apology.
Drilling down to the apologies. That's right.
Meanwhile, he's also drilling through this whole criminal enterprise that is, with some funny characters. There's one scene where he goes to this guy who's just this big kind of lumbering dude who's just really a braggart jerk, is setting up his daughter with and just being rude, and of course
just rude. Not okay.
Not okay.
Not okay.
And he comes in just in some humorous stuff. I mean, I was laughing because I said, this is definitely funny stuff. It's supposed to be totally tongue in cheek, even though there's a lot of violent, bloody stuff in it. So there's this really interesting mix of over the top violence, over the top action, and funny characters to make it super entertaining. I mean, it's a 2-hour movie and it's very entertaining the whole way through because there's a lot of characters. It moves along pretty quickly. He's really likable because early on, he's like this guy. He's trekking. That's what he's doing. He's just sort of walking around through life with a backpack, big warm smile on his face, talking to this woman, and then all of a sudden he gets upset because his food has been thrown to the ground.
But it seems like there's more to it than that. Because
isn't there? Yeah,
we won't give it away. We won't spoil it totally. But he's not just randomly walking around. He's not just a random guy. Like just watch the movie anyway. But I do like how, as always in these movies, which I never get tired of seeing, is when there's someone that everyone needs a hero, right? It's almost like a superhero movie. He comes in, he needs to find justice for these people who have been completely screwed over. The social justice of keeping the poor people down. These rich guys totally brutalizing everyone, total corruption, like everything's a criminal enterprise. I mean, I love the scene where these guys are, they're all working on, they're inside this kind of warehouse and they're all working on something. And there's a big pile of their phones are in the middle of the room. and he's up there sitting there in the desk looking all cocky.
One of the bad guys, yeah, Sumulu or whatever his name is.
Guys, you cannot wait to see this guy get killed. I mean, honestly,
right? Yeah, he's an absolute jackass.
So smarmy. So
he forces. Yeah, he forces one of the guys. The phone rings. He forced the guy to answer it. He's talking to his wife or whatever.
Whose phone is that?
Yeah, and the wife is saying, take one blood pressure pill because your blood pressure is low. So he comes up. The bad guy comes up, takes all the pills like a blister pack, and forces him to eat like 10 pills.
Yeah,
which is obviously which are going to kill him. And that's what he does. And so right there, and they're all sitting down doing this paperwork, and it just looks miserable,
so bad.
And of course, our hero walks in and proceeds to sort of, tear the place apart. And he uses, this is the scene, if you remember the trailer, there's a scene where he picks up a ceiling fan. That's not a ceiling fan.
It was a standing fan. Now it makes more sense.
Right.
What would happen? Like, what's he going to do? He just pinned him to a wall. It wasn't, I was hoping to be this shredding machine, but he kind of just pinned the bad guy to the wall. So I think
the reality is like, it's not going to have enough power to cut somebody's head off, but it's enough to sort of pin a guy against a wall and cause damage that way. So,
henchman. So technically it's, the main guy that they keep asking, where's Ranatunga?
Right.
Ranatunga's the bad guy. And I love that every time they show him, someone go, where's Ranatunga? They do a quick cut, and it's usually him cutting off someone's head over and over again. And then they have that's Randeep Hood, who's great because he's got that kind of smarmy, good look. He doesn't care about anything, total sociopath, but he's got that he will do anything to dominate these people. And he doesn't say where he just wipes out that whole courtyard of people. I didn't know what they did at this point. There was so much carnage, I couldn't keep track of what do these people do now? It's just constant. God.
He's just the guy. He's just the guy he's the guy you do not want to screw around with because he doesn't talk much, but he just kills.
My favorite scene, and there's a lot of crazy ones, is the cornfield scene. Was probably one of the most inspired, so over the top crazy that it felt like that was where it's going pure comedy. I mean, to have I've never seen so many severed heads in my life. So you have you see this cornfield, all of a sudden all these heads are flying through the air. It was really well done. I was just like, what am I seeing? And then they have the great, we're all running through the rows, and the one guy kind of cuts over, and then you just see his head come flying back out. It's just like, oh my God. So sheer extravagance of the violence, and I'm not saying that doesn't have a serious undertone. It was presented in such an over-the-top action way that you're never really fully disturbed by anything that's happening to people because it's so over the top. And that probably can work for it and against it, I think, because
it's interesting because early on, when you really feel for the villages because there's these dead these severed head bodies, and it's the son. So there's a son or a brother or a father, whatever, and it's awful. But then the action stuff is so incredibly. It's like a Busby Berkeley musical. There's one guy flying, completely parallel to the ground this way, 50 feet. Then somebody's going straight up and he throws a spear. The spear comes down. He lands on the spear. It's just this wild stuff. Very creative deaths.
I mean, this is technically a Hindi film, but there's a lot of references to other film genres. I thought a very Telugu feel to it because I said Telugu in the beginning because there's all that slow motion action that defies gravity, which feels very Telugu to me. It's also Hindi, I guess, but and Sunny Deol really sells it because he really makes you feel the sort of gravity in a way, but he's never too serious or too distraught. He's always just kind of that's the guy I want taking care of me because he seems like he's got his shit together. But they also have some great female characters. I feel like I didn't even know this was going to be this kind of a movie until the very end. That's where I feel like they used them more. I wish they had, but they had a female cop who was amazing.
Yeah.
And then all female cops. And then they all get kidnapped by the main bad guy. Yeah. Ranatunga, whatever his name is. So then he holds them all prisoner. They're all getting raped over and over again every night.
So their clothes are ripped off and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Just humiliating them. So then they kind of go away from that storyline for a minute. He kind of rounds them all up. Sunny Deol kind of gets them all, and they all come with him. He's got this army of women, which I thought was very cool to see them come back.
It was cool.
They were abused. You see him standing there, and it could have been anybody. No, he had a big group of women who were going to go in there and just have some stuff done. So
and that was because, early on in the movie, when they realized, it's Rotunda, all the male cops resigned, like out in this road, saying, I'm out, I got a family. Yep. But all female cops said, nope, we're good, we're with you. Yep. They stayed, and then they went in trying to, and that's why they got captured, but eventually got their revenge at the end. So that was a cool, I wanted to see more of that, but, because again, they were, after 15 minutes, you didn't see them until the tail end of the film. But I'm glad they came back.
Yeah, I'm glad they came back, and I love where he walks into the big. This is going to be the big final set piece, and we're not going to spoil it. This will be relatively spoiler free, but there's a big scene where they go into the big cop station, and this thing's written on. He goes, "I want that to say respect women on the wall. I want you to write that." And they're all like, "Ha, right." No way. It's like, well, what do you do? What happens when you say no to Sunny Deol?
I know. Those arms pick up like 5 guys, stop a Jeep. There's a scene where like the Jeep guy's trying to escape in the Jeep, and he's just holding on to the back of it, and the wheels spinning. So obviously there's a lot of tongue in cheek in here, but mixed with, so there's some tonal changes that worked for me. I don't know. Sometimes I go, that's so jarring that I don't get it, but this, it worked. It flowed nicely for me. I totally bought all of it. So I enjoyed it. It's something worth checking out.
It's definitely worth checking out. He's great in it. I mean, the man's 67 years old, and he was I was buying every minute of it.
I can't believe he's 67. I mean, my God, that's
amazing. So I love that. He was our anchor for the whole movie. So you're like with him. You understand what's happening with him. You hate the bad guys. You know who's the bad guy, who's not the bad guy. You're just waiting to see all the revenge roll out. Apologize. That's all he wanted, you guys. Just apologize already.
This is what happens to toxic masculinity. Just say the movie would have been over, and 100 people would have been not beheaded. Whatever.
But I really enjoyed it too. I thought it was really fun. It's like my theater was about half full, but everybody was very excited by it. Like the entry scenes just went, wah! Like everybody was excited when they saw the entry scenes, because you knew when he was going to walk into a room, it was going to get a reaction. So I love that. I love that about Indian films, is people they just can't even hold it in. It's like, yay! So that makes it worthwhile. So that helps me like movies more, is when an audience is so invested. I love that.
Movies are better when you have that sort of, people are laughing or cheering or screaming with you. It's so much better. And I think a lot of Indian films, especially these action films, know that and tailor scenes so you get maximum audience participation.
That's right.
And making a more fun experience. So check it out. Go see it in the theater. JAAT, Sunny Deol, really fun movie, and we enjoyed watching it.
We did. All right. Leave your comments. What'd you think of JAAT?
Yes. Thanks, everybody. Bye.